with mine, and then I've got a couple of questions that they wanted me to ask as well. But let's just talk about the election first
Yes.
off. You've been reelected. You want to talk a little bit about that just to begin with?
Well, I want to thank the voters of the 23rd District for entrusting me for another 2 years. As the numbers come in, the number goes up higher, so I've been very thankful for that. We got a lot of things on our plates for the next 2 years. We got things to finish in this Congress still, from COVID relief, from government funding, and I'll be going back. I just came back the other day, but I'll go back to Washington to work on that start of next week as well.
Perfect. I do want to dive into that, but we'll wrap up some election stuff first. Also reelected the GOP leader. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I got reelected as the minority leader, the Republican leader in the House. We'll have the closest majority you've ever had since World War II, or the smallest majority the Democrats have ever had since World War II. We're still finishing up a number of seats. One here in Kern County, David Valadao looks as though he will defeat TJ Cox. We got Mike Garcia down in Los Angeles, Ventura. It'd be 4 pickups for Republicans just in California from the last election, which is very positive. We could end up around 213 Republicans. It takes 218 to win the majority. So there's many times we could actually run the floor.
I also saw you were posting about some of the Republicans that were picked up, majority women and minorities, a couple of them the first of their kind.
Oh, we have a number in California. Young Kim Michelle Steele, born in South Korea, the first to serve in Congress. 50% of the new Republicans coming in are women and minorities. I mean, every Democrat who lost to a conservative Republican woman or a conservative Republican minority. So it's very exciting. The party continues to expand exactly what we believe it would be and what it should be, and we continue to live by the party of Lincoln.
Let's talk a little bit about the presidential election. Obviously, still a lot going on with that. The president has yet to concede at this point. Do you think he should concede?
No, there's still votes going on. Georgia still has a recount. You still have legal challenges. Every legal vote needs to be counted. There's a lot of audits that are happening and should happen. And I think anybody, if you want to trust your election, you've got to make sure every legal challenge is heard and every recount is finished, and making sure that legal votes are moving forward. We still have a number of seats in Congress that have not been finished yet, even here in Kern County.
Now, have you talked to the president about conceding? Is that his message as well? That he's
I've talked to the president almost every day about the different challenges. We found a lot of things that from the race that go forward that there are legal challenges to that people should hear. We want to make sure that some of these things that have taken place, I mean, even right here in Kern County, be it a mayor race or another, you always have observers from both sides. Why would someone put a plyboard on a window when you're counting ballots? Why would they not allow observers on both sides in? These are things that should never be allowed on going forward.
Do you think the president should rerun in 2024 if he does end up being verified as not winning?
Well, he has to make that decision, but I think if it does not turn out that way, I think the president would be the first choice. The job that he has done has been tremendous. I think he would win.
Do you think he would have enough Republican support?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I want to also talk a little bit about COVID relief that you were mentioning. You're talking about going back and continuing to work on that. How soon could people see some actual relief?
Well, we could see it right away. And what's very sad, Nancy Pelosi has a statement that she's said for months. Doing nothing is better than doing something. And we watch it, how many people are hurting. We're watching these restaurants get shut down where people are going to go out of business. Those employees at those restaurants could actually have money and would still pay them. It's called PPP. And there's $138 billion just sitting there. Republicans, we brought this up 38 times. The Democrats have voted against it since the summertime. And we have what is called a discharge petition that could go around Nancy Pelosi. We just need a few more Democrats to sign it. None of them have. And the money would go out tomorrow. And this is a real challenge that Nancy Pelosi has held up any relief for our states, for our unemployment, for the small businesses that are struggling so much right now, where we watch the governor shut these down one more time when he's out having dinner. I mean, those are people losing their jobs, and it doesn't have to be the case. That we could provide resources that help them pay their rent, pay their employees, and get them through this bridge where government says they can't be open.
And also, let's talk a little bit about that. The governor implementing this curfew and talking about shutting down restaurants again, obviously pushing people back to the purple tier. Do you think this is important for him to do, or what do you think he should be doing
Well, I think we should follow the science, and lots of times you see some of this that he does inflicts greater pain to individuals. I mean, we need to continue to wear our masks, keeps our social distance, but the idea that they told restaurants could be open, they had to go through and spend a lot of more resources and capital to open a different manner, put a tent outside, and now shutting them down where their food is perishable, what the people already ordered. I think there's a way of going about doing it. There's many studies out there that show the connectability is not within the restaurant, it's not the highest place. Within government, it's even higher of people connecting to one another. I mean, what we've been able to accomplish in Operation Warp Speed gives us the best hope of all. That we have the ability to have a vaccine, not one, but two. It's something you and I have talked about for the last couple months that it's coming. And for the governor to say that he wants to delay the ability to bring a vaccine out to people, that's playing politics as well. That's not right.
How are you planning to work with President-elect Biden? What are some issues you'd like to focus on under the Biden administration?
Well, first of all, you have to declare the election. Whoever is president, I will work with that individual. A number of things. We'll make sure to defeat COVID. We have vaccines that are ready to go. We want to make sure that they're safe and secure in getting out to people. We want to make sure that we're continuing to help build this economy. We've been able to watch it today, went over 30,000 the Dow, but we've watched what COVID has done to many of these small businesses. Let's focus and help these small businesses get 10 million people back to work in the next year. We have a plan for that. Make our streets safe and secure, not defunding the police, and really that was something that this election was about, that people do not want to see the police defunded. They actually want to see money provided to them for community policing, for video cameras as well, and actually make our streets safe and secure. Building our economy, defeating COVID, and making our streets safe.
I also want to talk a little bit about the major news about the EDD today and these fraudulent claims that went out to inmates. What's your response to hearing about that?
That's appalling. That should not ever happen. This is why we need accountability when we go forward. This is why we have to continue to be able to audit. But the idea, there's even one that I heard, a famous murderer is providing money. That's taxpayer money going out to a person in prison, gaming the system. We want to make sure that those who rightfully have a right to the resources that it's provided. But for people to cheat the system, we've got to make sure we correct that.
Anything else I haven't asked that you would like to discuss today?
I think you got them all.
All right.
All right.
Great.